Welcome into Star City Sports. I'm Matt Reynoldson. Both the Nebraska men's and women's basketball teams face a strenuous week after losing in their conference tournaments. According to bracketologists, both teams sit on the proverbial bubble of making the NCAA tournament. The bracket predictors have not been impressed with the 22-10 record of the men's team, but the Huskers believe they've done enough to get in.
The Husker baseball team held their media day yesterday at Memorial Stadium, and head coach Darren Erstad says the expectations have changed for Nebraska in 2018. A new season with new faces, new expectations, but one key carryover from the year before. We're really excited to see the progression of Luke Roscom. The third baseman from last year was a freshman, was one of the best hitters on this team.
Well, the state tournament for Nebraska boys high school basketball began today in downtown Lincoln. Beginning today, a few local teams started their quest to bring home the hardware. Starting off at Devaney Center this morning, Lincoln Christian versus Grand Island Central Catholic in the first round, a 5-seed versus 4-seed matchup. Lincoln Christian's Max McEwen driving in for the nice layup right here to put Christian on top in the first half. But Grand Island Central Catholic would not go away quietly. That three by Peyton Court gave the Crusaders a lead. But a three-ball by Caleb Canfield in the second half stretched Lincoln Christian's lead, and Lincoln Christian goes on to win by 11. Tough sledding for Nebraska baseball right now. Cal Poly just scored 10 straight runs to take a 14-8 lead into the ninth inning. So kind of a rough day for the Huskers in the home opener.
Fairbury Country Club hosts the annual Relay for Life Pretty in Pink Scramble. But for these players, it's about more than just the 18 holes.
According to Sports Illustrated, growing concerns about concussions have led to a nearly 3% decline in America's most popular sport at the high school level. It looked like the Huskers were destined for a series sweep here in Wichita, but Zach Rapinski's ninth-inning home run tied the game and gave Nebraska a much-needed win.
It's the coldest day of January in Lincoln, Nebraska, but Big Ten play is heating up for this women's college basketball season. Tonight, the 20th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes will become the third straight top 25 team to come into Pinnacle Bank Arena as the much improved Nebraska Cornhuskers try to stop them here in Lincoln. We'd like to welcome you into Pinnacle Bank Arena. I'm Matt Reynoldson alongside my esteemed broadcast partner, Kaylin Debin, for this rivalry matchup tonight that Kaylin really has not been much of a rivalry lately. 5 straight wins for the Hawkeyes in the series, and it's the longest losing streak for the Huskers against any Big Ten team. Tonight, they'll try and stop them. It'll be a shorthanded Hawkeyes team. 2 guards out with injury for the Hawkeyes tonight, but it seems right now that doesn't matter for Iowa as their offense runs through a post presence that they've been getting very well. It's Iowa, it's Nebraska, live at Pinnacle Bank Arena. That's all coming up next on BTN+.
The Nebraska basketball team looking for a signature win Thursday night and hosting 23rd ranked Michigan at the Vault. Could the Huskers do enough to slow down the Wolverines' potent offense? Nebraska's own source of potent offense, James Palmer Jr., averaging 15.7 points per game and coming off the game-winning shot against Illinois on Monday. We'll pick things up in the first half. Jordy Shamanga, with his first touch of the game, finds a back-cutting Isaiah Roby for the flush. Nebraska led 20-14 at that point. Later in the first half, James Palmer once again finding Roby on the back cut. Roby with the jam. Isaiah Roby had a career-high 14 points on the evening. Nebraska led by 10, but Michigan trying to cut into the lead. Nice penetrating move here just off the front of the rim, but Charles Matthews with the follow, cutting Nebraska's lead to 9, but the Huskers were just too much on the night. Isaac Copeland driving in the lane after a nifty spin move, laying it up off the glass, brought the margin to 11 that would hold at halftime. Nebraska would win 72-52.
I'm here with player of the game, Rhett Harms, and Rhett, big-time players making big-time plays. You scored 19 last game against Columbus, and now tonight with 15. How were you able to turn it on in the second half? Yeah, you guys had a lot of trouble with that 2-3 zone of Norris in the first half. How were you able to start penetrating on the offensive side of the ball? Well, Rhett, you're going to state. How does it feel to be able to represent your school at the highest level of high school basketball? Well, Rhett Harms, 15 points in the game, 14 points in the second half as we wrap it up here.
It's baseball weather in Lincoln, and the Huskers are staying in the Midwest this weekend. Nebraska traveling down to face undefeated Wichita State in a 3-game road series. The Huskers are off to their best start in the Darren Erstad era, but the players are more worried about the wins than the record books.
That's been the best start that we have had in years, and I didn't even think about that. You know, it's just playing the game and, you know, going pitch by pitch.
Nebraska sits at 5-3, its best start in the month of February since 2011. After a 2-2 split in the Big Ten Pac-12 Challenge, the Huskers are a confident bunch, but a stiff challenge and a tough road crowd awaits in Wichita.
For us, it's the first true road games where you're actually getting a home crowd that is going to be nice and welcoming, and especially down there, they've got some nice fans out in right field that are ready to go.
The Huskers will face a stiff test against a Wichita State offense featuring 2 first-team All-Americans, and they'll have to do so with a thinning pitching staff. Junior lefty Jake McSteen strained a ligament in his elbow on Saturday, the 4th elbow injury to the Husker pitching staff this year.
Very concerned. It's you feel for those guys that those are our hardest workers that have been injured, which is just crazy.
Instead of being discouraged about it, we have to be positive, and it's a learning process for them now, and we just have to support them.
The Bats will definitely need to support the pitching staff against a Shocker team that averages nearly 8 runs per game. It's the Huskers and Shockers in a big-time early March series. First pitch set for 3 p.m. Friday at X Stadium in Lincoln. Matt Reynoldson, HuskerOnline.com.